What is DAEMON Tools? DAEMON Tools is advanced optical media emulation software. This is also called a virtual drive or virtual CD/DVD drive. You can use DAEMON Tools to create images of all your physical CD/DVDs. You then don't need to physically change the disks when you're using different applications. The free version, called DAEMON Tools Lite, allows you to emulate up to 4 drives. Paid-for versions allow for more. This version is for personal home use and not for commercial purposes. DAEMON Tools supports Windows XP, Vista, and 7. DAEMON Tools also supports disks with advanced copy protection like SafeDisk, Secure ROM, and Laser Lock. Let's download and install DAEMON Tools. Open a web browser like Internet Explorer. In the address bar, enter daemon-tools.cc. It's not .com, it's .cc. And press enter. On the DAEMON Tools homepage, click the Downloads link. There are 3 different versions of DAEMON Tools that are available. We are going to download DAEMON Tools Lite. Click on the Download button next to DAEMON Tools Lite. On the DAEMON Tools Lite download page, click the Downloads link. On the Download Information bar, click the Run button. This will download the file and then automatically start the installer. On the DAEMON Tools Lite window, on the Welcome screen, click the Next button. On the License Agreement screen, read the license agreement, and then click the I Agree button. On the License Type screen, we need to be careful. They try to trick you into automatically selecting the paid license for DAEMON Tools, even when you download the free version. Click to select the radio button for free license, and then click the Next button. On the Choose Component screen, ensure that all options are selected, and then click the Next button. When asked to install additional software, click the Deselect Don't Allow, and then click the Next button. On the Choose Install Location screen, click the Install button. We left the option selected to install the Windows gadget for DAEMON Tools. Click the Install button. Once the installation is complete on the completing screen, Reboot Now is selected by default. As long as you have everything saved on your computer, click the Finish button to reboot and finish the installation for DAEMON Tools. You can start DAEMON Tools in one of 2 ways. Option 1. Double-click the DAEMON Tools Lite icon on the desktop. Option 2. Click the Windows Start button, All Programs, DAEMON Tools Lite, and then select the DAEMON Tools Lite icon. Let's review the basic DAEMON Tools Lite interface. The top pane in the window will list the DAEMON Tools image catalog, which is currently empty. As you add images to the drive, they'll show up here. All options are on the toolbar in the middle of the window. Several of them are grayed out. Add Image. This button is used to add a new disk image to DAEMON Tools to use as a new virtual disk. Let's click the Add Image button. Browse for the image file you want to open. Click to select the file, and then click the Open button. We will now see that we have the new image file listed in the image catalog. This is not mounted the image in the virtual drive. It is just listed it in the image catalog for quick access. To mount the image file to the virtual drive listed below, you can do one of 2 things. Option 1, right-click on the image, Mount, and then you can select the virtual drive that you want to use. Currently, there is only one virtual drive in this system, which is why there is only one choice. Option 2. You can drag and drop the image onto the virtual drive below. We can now see that the virtual drive shows as having media in it. Add DT Virtual Drive. Click this button to add additional virtual CD/DVD drives to the system. With the free Daemon Tools Lite, you can use up to 4 virtual drives. Let's add an additional virtual drive. We can now see an additional virtual drive here, as well as in the Windows gadget. And it also shows up here, with media and without. Add SCSI virtual drive. This will add additional virtual SCSI devices to the system. Make disk image. Clicking this button will open the disk imaging window. The disk imaging window will open. Device. Click the drop-down to select which device in your system it will use as the source device. Reading speed. Here you select the speed that the disk will read from. Typically, you would just use the highest setting. If you have errors or it fails when trying to create the disk image, you can try to drop this down to a lower setting. Destination image file. Click the Save As button to select a location to save the image file. I'll select the desktop. Clicking the Save As type dropdown, you can select which format you want to save the image as. I like to use ISO images. Once everything is selected, click the Save button. Below you can select options to delete the image on failure and add to image catalog. Click the Start button. Once the image is complete, click the Close button. And we can now see our new ISO image created here. You can also burn images from Daemon Tools using the Burn Image with Afterburn button. We may go over this at a later time, but it requires installing an additional piece of software. The Preferences button will open a new Preferences window with base settings for Daemon Tools. I want to go over a couple of the preferences. Let's click on the Preferences button. On the Preferences window in the General Settings, by default we should have all options checked. Use Tray Agent and Auto Start tells Daemon Tools to start with Windows every time and load directly to the system tray. Auto Mount will automatically mount the last image mounted to each drive when it automatically loads with Windows. If you have image files that aren't opening to Daemon Tools when you double-click them, you can go to the Integration menu and then select additional file formats. I have all mine selected. If you have a disk with advanced protection, you can go to the Advanced menu and then select the type of security you want to enable support for. Let's close this out. As you add images to Daemon Tools, it will keep a list of the recently used images. Let's close out of the Daemon Tools window. Notice that even though when you click the X to close out the window, it still shows to be running in the system tray. By default, your system may not show the Daemon Tools icon in the system tray. If not, then click the Show Hidden Icons button. Click the Customize link. On the Notification Area Icons window that opens, find Daemon Tools Lite in the list. Click the drop-down menu and select Show Icon and Notifications, and then click the OK button. Let's review how to add images to the virtual disk drive and how to remove them. Previously, we added an image file to the drive by dragging and dropping the image file onto it. Let's remove it from the drive by unmounting it. To unmount the image, left-click on Daemon Tools once in the system tray. Here at the bottom, we can see the virtual drive listed with the virtual disk image mounted. Click the Unmount All Drives link. When asked to confirm, click the Yes button. Now we can click on the Daemon Tools icon in the system tray and click the link for the virtual drive to mount an image. We would then browse for and select the image file, and then press the Open button. The virtual disk drive would then show up in your computer settings. Let's click the Windows Start button, and then Computer. The computer window will open showing all the hard drives, disk drives, and other removable storage in the system. Here we can see our virtual drive with the disk image mounted, as well as our virtual drive with no image in it at all. In addition to be able to connect to a virtual disk image from the Daemon Tools icon in the system tray, you can also mount the image directly from Windows Explorer. Let's browse for an image file. The computer window will open. Let's double-click to open the virtual drive. Here we can browse around the disk and use it just like any other normal physical disk drive. In addition to being able to connect to the virtual disk image from the DAEMON Tools icon in the system tray, you can also mount the image directly from Windows Explorer. Let's browse for an image file. When you install DAEMON Tools, it should associate the disk image files with DAEMON Tools. If we look at the ISO files here, we can see the DAEMON Tools icon showing. This shows that DAEMON Tools will be the default program to open the file. If you have this, you can simply double-click on one of the files to mount it. If you don't see the DAEMON Tool icon, you could set it back from the preferences as I showed you before. Or you can follow the following steps. Right-click on the ISO image, open with, choose Default Program. On the Open With window, select DAEMON Tools if you see it in the list. If you don't see it in the list, click the Browse button. We'll then browse to C, Program Files x86, DAEMON Tools Lite, and then you would select dtlite.exe and click the Open button. You also want to make sure that always use the selected program to open this kind of file is selected, and then click the OK button. Now we can see that to the first virtual drive, the Windows 8 Developer Preview is mounted. Now every time you want to mount an ISO image, all you need to do is just double-click on it. Everyone should now have DAEMON Tools Lite downloaded and installed, as well as have a good understanding of how to use it to mount and unmount image files to a virtual CD/DVD drive.